Hi, Frank.
Hey,
Hello.
how are you doing?
Very
Fine,
good.
thank you.
Hey, all of
So,
you, all of you
yeah,
in
thank you.
Europe, or some of
Europe,
you are in Israel?
Europe,
Europe.
right now.
And
Uh,
and where are you located? By the basketball players in the back, I would guess somewhere in Israel or
Yeah, yeah, that's my office, and I'm part of my days. I'm a innovation manager of Maccabi Tel Aviv basketball team.
No, okay.
cool.
Yeah,
Interesting. Cool.
yeah. So
Awesome.
this is my
Ah,
decoration of the the players of the past.
okay.
Awesome.
Yeah. I,
All right. So we are four people. Actually, so I just added you to the stage, which is much better because then we can actually talk about things that might be interesting to you.
Mhm.
Maybe again, let's do a very brief introduction. And then, yeah, if you're interested, I like to share about some things about commerce.
Mhm.
In Germany in particular. And then Johannes is the logistics expert. That's not my area. And then
Hmm.
also happy to hear what you're interested in. So maybe because I'm already talking, just let's just do a little brief introduction. So I'm Christoph, managing partner of the NCA. NCA is an early stage accelerator based in Hamburg, Germany. We invest in 10 companies per year, all early stage. In the commerce sector, but commerce goes from software to physical products. It's not necessarily all e-commerce shops or something. This would be very boring. And we have 16 investors, mostly corporates, from big to small corporates. And we connect corporates and startups. And we've been entrepreneurs ourselves in the past. So we're just passing this on to the startups in a 6 months program. Yeah, and also where the connection to Israel comes. So we also been approached. So our target field is Europe. So from the 40 companies we have, they are spread up all over Europe, 2 US companies even. So I'm just saying that's because we're not a German only or a Hamburg only startup show. And so we've been approached by Israeli startups in the past who want to enter the German market. And that's where the connection comes. So I'm happy to share some insights then, but yeah, just maybe
So,
pass on to Johannes or Ruth for introduction.
Yeah. Hi Frank. Hi Ruth. Hi Christoph. I'm Johannes, also based in Hamburg, just a few blocks down the road from where Christoph's office is. At the moment, I guess we're both in home office. I'm the managing director of the Digital Hub Logistics in Hamburg. I have a background in innovation and research in the semiconductor industry, so not really a logistics expert, but always trying to bring some innovative hardware products to logistics. Nevertheless, over the last 2 years, I've been building the Digital Hub Logistics as part of the German-wide so-called D-Hub network of 12 physical and 16 thematic hubs. And what we do in Hamburg, we are located very close to the harbor, and that's also where our heart starts to beat a little bit faster. Whenever we try to bring startups and established corporates along the logistical value chain together. So we have a physical. In these days, not always so easy, a physical co-working space where we are home to over 60 logistics startups, very heterogeneous, from very early scale to startups who have already a Series A behind them, who just use this platform to get in touch with our corporate partners, such as DHL, Volkswagen, Lufthansa, just to name a few. In total, we have 18 corporate partners working with us. And yeah, so that's basically in essence all we do. We try to nurture and support the startups here and there. Our final goal is really to establish lasting, sustainable cooperations between already successful corporates in logistics and startups. And yeah, that's what we do, and happy to discuss that further once you have introduced yourself.
Ruth,
Rude.
Sorry, the microphone. I don't know
Still-
why the camera is not working, but you see my picture, and so I think it's enough. Yes, nice to meet you. So I'm from the Digital Hub Initiative. I'm working together with Johannes and 11 other digital hubs we are having in Germany for different sectors of industry. As Johannes said, he's specialized in logistics, but we also have a lot of other different, I don't know if you have already had the opportunity to have a look on our website. There you can find the range of sectors we are talking about. And so, yes, I'm here today to see if startups are interested about the German market, because our main task is to attract foreign startups for the German startup ecosystem. And we have this network to have a quick exchange between Munich, Cologne, Berlin, or Frankfurt, or wherever you would like to go. So that's from my part.
Oh, okay, lucky me. So I have I wish I could have my own panel that I can speak. So a bit about myself. My name is Ophir Frank. I'm head of innovation of Maccabi Tel Aviv, as I told you, but this is not the reason that I'm in these meetings. I have my startup, which is dispute resolution platform for that based on we create a new platform that work on what we call the community wisdom. So we create a very unique process that can accelerate the processes of dispute resolution that disputes which are not legal, because we cannot get into the area of legal issues, but we can go into commercial issues. And we create a very cheap process, which is about 50 euros per side, and in 72 hours we can reach to come with a decision. And we are at a very, very early stage. We have now a prototype that's working. We make some exams with students in universities to check how it works, offline, online. And we are just looking now first to create for a seed round, and also we are looking for design partners around in Israeli market. We discussed now with the Israeli government and with some with Tel Aviv municipality and Jerusalem. And we are also looking for we believe that we can bring a lot of innovation to all the let's call it. I think the platform economy today, all the platform economies really in a need to such a tool, and we believe that there is much more markets that we don't know them about, like the crypto markets and some other e-banking or other commercials. So that's about what we are looking for, and that's about in a few words about what we are doing.
Thank you. Very interesting. All right. So yeah.
If you want me to ask you questions about what you should be the panelist, so I can make it.
yeah. We've elevated you to also be panelist. No, but maybe it makes a lot of sense instead of you being in the side chat and we're just talking to each other. So since Johannes and I know each other, and we want to make the session valuable, we took this time. So yeah, if you have specific questions, please ask Ruth and Ophir. Otherwise, I would just go ahead with some high-level things, and maybe then there's something interesting we can talk about.
First of all, to meet people, it's always nice. It's always nice to talk, especially in this social distance days. Not much in a restaurants and in a bar, so we meet in a chats. So it's nice. Business-wise, what I'm I really interested on less. I really understand that to raise money find funding in Germany in a seed. It might be a bit difficult, but from your experience or from the places where you're working, you can recommend or can try to find, or you think about the area where we can kind of find design partners so we can create because this is a new approach, and we need to create kind of attraction. The money is not that big problem. I think more problem is to go into markets and to learn about new markets.
So
Yeah.
if I got that right, this was a two-sided question or remarks. So one thing was about funding, right? And the other thing was about market entry. So if you might just add to that. So maybe specifically for Israeli startups, when we are being approached for funding, honestly, we're always skeptic because, as you know, in Israel, there's much more funding available per, let's say, square meter than in Germany and even in San Francisco. So if it's not for coming or going to the Europe or German market, if it's just for pure funding intentions, then we probably say, hey, why didn't you manage to raise funds in Israel? Because there's much more money, much better seen at some point. When it comes to funding directly in Germany, obviously there are some German VCs. My experience as an entrepreneur in Germany is, I mean, so I did a company that went quite big. So we almost raised 100 million in funding. And most, if not all, this money the big checks came from the US and not from Germany. So my theory is, and I've seen that all the times, a lot of founders complain that they don't get money, but at the same time, a lot of people get funded. So this is just like, I've seen that good teams, good ideas. So this in combination or combined with traction, they always get funding. Either it comes from the US, comes from Israel, comes from Europe. I think there's much more money available than good ideas. So that's why also if you switch let's say the seeds, and I think from our view, I mean, we're early stage investors, but imagine you have 100 million or even 500 million fund and you need to invest. Good luck. So you must be in Berlin all the time on the streets. If you don't have a good reputation, you won't even find good deals. So there's just a handful of good deals per year in Germany. So this is kind of, I'd say, if you have a good team, a good traction, if you have a relevant problem, if you're operating in a topic that's hot right now with VC world, that changes every year, as you know, like sometimes it's chatbots, then it's blockchain, and then it's this and that. If you're in a hot space, it makes it much more easier. But I think for pure funding, the VCs are so desperate, it doesn't matter as long as you have a Delaware Inc. Limited, German GmbH, or even Israeli company, then you will be able to get funding. My experience. So that's why, to come to your second question, just very briefly, that's why we are mostly looking for startups to say, hey, I want to enter the German market. That's where we can help. Funding is not our main help. We add a little bit of that, but it's much more about our experience in market entry. So,
yeah. If I may add on that, totally agree with what Christoph has said, and obviously I would need to understand more about what your precise dispute settlement tool is all about. What my experience has shown, looking in logistics and also looking to the fact that we've already brought 2 Israeli startups in logistics to Hamburg and linked them with our port terminal operator to do a prototypical project, is that when you enter a market, you should have already a functioning proof of concept at least, and a focus of an industry in which you want to take your first steps. I've seen many startups who come to me and who said, yeah, obviously we can also do a lot in logistics, but we can do a lot in fashion, and we can do a lot in healthcare. And it gets a lot harder for these guys to really sell their focus. And what I've seen, particularly in logistics, is that the logistics and supply chain companies, they are very fond of themselves and say, hey, we are already doing a good job. In order to do a greater job, we really only want to work with startups who really make a difference and who have proven the difference. So in terms of market entry, be very precise in which area you want to take your first steps, and then maybe logistics and supply chain or e-logistics could be a step afterwards then.
You think that the market is open for, or the company, they have go-to-guys people to create kind of a meetings to focus before you go to the market, to look for design partnership, just to explore what you're doing, to search, to see, to hear their feedback from the ecosystem?
If you
Or it's
it always depends on, I think in your stage, it always depends on how you frame certain needs. If you frame it in a way, hey, I want to have a product partner and I want to win clients, I would, and obviously I don't know too much about your product yet, I would suggest that this would be a little bit too early. If you frame it the way that, hey, we are, and as you already said, we are very early stage and we need a design partner, or we need a critical feedback company who just provides us their 5 cents on our idea, that's possible, of course. It depends on expectation management.
For our part, from our side, we had a good discussion with the European market, and we realized that there is a big opportunity there, because they have a huge challenge there, because there is one currency, but there is many legal systems. You see that there is they create an online dispute resolution platform, but out of 7 million cases, they could work, or they solve only 2% of the cases. So they really seek for a problem, or looking for a better platform. I think all over the world right now, you see a damage or you see problems. But I think I will take it like a great suggestion that when I approach to the market, to come with not as a platform that we have all the opportunities, but we have to every industry to come with the solution that we show how it works in this area. I think it's
if you like, after the session, there's one startup coming to my mind who has actually been. It's a spin-off of a rather successful medium enterprise in Germany, being active in container trading and container leasing and selling. And I know that they have been working on an contractual negotiation tool to make the lease, the selling and buying of containers around the world smoother and easier. Maybe it could be an idea for you to just meet up with them and say, hey, maybe you could be an integration part of their service, because they've been saying that the thousands of deals that they handle every year, they at the moment only focus, of course, on price and the contract, which container in Uruguay is going to be sold by whom. But the aftermath of it, if the quality isn't right, if the promised location isn't correct, etc., how do you settle that? Maybe that could just be some food for thought for you.
Thank you very much. So I will email you, and we can.
You're welcome. Welcome.
Thank you very much. So I think we had a great session.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask Ruth, since you're also here in this session, that you would like to know from us. I mean, you probably know Johannes, but we don't know each other. So is there anything interesting that we could talk about, or even Ophir or Johannes?
Good question.
If not, it's fine. But maybe we're here
Yeah.
now, so
Yeah. No,
We are
not
just checking
actually,
that you are
really.
there.
Sorry? What did you say?
I was joking that because your camera is not working, we're just checking that you're with us.
Yeah, I'm still with you. Don't worry. Yes, I didn't want to click again during you were speaking because I think it's always disrupting a conversation. So
yeah.
if it's not working in the beginning, I generally let it go. Yes, but no, there's not really actually something I think which is in this to discuss. But it was nice to meet you in any case.
Okay.
Frank, where in Israel are you located?
I'm located in Tel Aviv.
Okay.
Actually, I was traveling a lot in Germany because in the past, in the far past, I had a big company for exhibitions. So I was traveling all over Germany, and I built the Israeli pavilion in the Expo 2000 in Hanover.
Okay.
And work all over Germany. I have a lot of friends in Germany from this time. So
that's why you had the idea. That's why you had the idea with the platforms, because trade fairs are like platforms, isn't
it? I did. I'm sorry, but the sound was not.
That's why you started the project with platforms, because before you had been working with trade fairs. No.
No. The idea came from we realized that generally the legal system is getting packed up, and the price is getting higher, and the system is getting lower, the service is getting worse, and there is two solutions. One solution is that the world will go into AI, and the AI system for legal system have two problems. One is that I don't know how long we want as humanity to use computers to rule our relationship. And the other thing that AI is very limited, and it can solve only things that he already knows, and it's very narrow. So we believe that we can create something that is different, that can bring a lot of value to the ecosystem and the public and the people relationship and communities. And that's why we move it, we push it forward, we research it, we make a long process to find the right balanced way to do it. And we believe we create a very interesting and valuable product that solve a really real pain. And we know that we go into, we had now a very good push because of the COVID, because people are working from away, people are not really meeting, so we see more and more digital connection between people, and our system helps to solve problems which are you don't have to intend to be part of the process, and it's very easy and very good. We have some benefits that I think in the next few months we will push forward.
Just another question: what is the motivation for you for Germany? Is it because you had already worked so much with Germany, or is it because it is the biggest market of Europe? What is your main motivation to go to Germany?
I think the German market is is big, is very big, and involved in a lot of e-commerce and commerce markets. So I think it's leading the European market. So if we can. It's like to go into the leading market like to go to the Indian market in the Far East, or to go to the. I think the best way to go to the European market is to do it through the the German market.
Mm.
It's and that's from my understanding is one of the interesting, because I deal also with sport tech, and I mentored many sport tech, and I see the way that the German market adopting technology. I understand that I realize that when you have a good technology and you have a good approach and you do it right, it's good to do it with the German markets because they know how to do it, because they have a process. A lot of markets want to go into innovation, but because they don't really have the right people and they don't have the right processes, so they welcome you in the beginning, but then the process is melting because you don't have the right people, and then it's not a really built up and mature ecosystem. And I think startups don't have time to processes which are not really focused, because they lose the money on the way. So you need to find a market that is, that you can go. You see the beginning and you see the direction where you want to reach. Otherwise, you can fall on the way. This is, by the way, one of the problems of the Israeli market, that we are really innovative, but we don't have a processes in the government. So a lot of startups in Israel are really losing the way and losing the money on the way, because they don't really get a product before they go to the big markets, and from the other side they don't have a design partner locally. So things are so. I hope I answered my question.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's also what we say to foreign companies, are they startups or small and medium-sized or whatever. It's always a reference. If once you have reached the German market, you can go through Europe and say, okay, I already have a partner in Germany, so it shows to other people in the other countries, France, Spain, or wherever, that you can say you work with maybe the most challenging people of Europe, because the market is so big and it's sometimes so difficult to enter in this full market. So was just interesting to have your opinion about it. Thank you.
I can tell you one more thing, that what I'm doing here locally, because Maccabi Tel Aviv is the only international phase for sport, sport. So when I'm working or when I'm supporting startups, I just build with them kind of an LOI, a letter of intent, and that helps them to go to other markets. So sometimes, or to go to investors. So we create kind of a vehicle that help startups make the first move.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's very important in Germany. To have something certificated. Germans like it. We have a certification.
Yeah.
Like the TÜV and all these certifications we are having.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a matter of culture. I think it's a matter of culture, of going on a safe way to work with the process. This is kind of the that's why I'm trying to find places or open doors in the innovation market in Germany and other countries. But I prefer the German, because I think it can make a big difference for us. But I believe we will meet. Jonah, I will send you. I will text you, and I can share you my deck and everything, and then we can see if we can make something with the container company. And it was really a pleasure to be part of the meeting.
So exclusive.
Yes. Not exactly.
Johannes, I muted you. Sorry. Now you're back.
Okay.
You were typing.
No, very nice meeting you. Very, very inclusive meeting, and I look forward to your mail. And then, see you maybe later on in some other meetings this afternoon.